right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bowl TV. This is Matt Canizaro. Appreciate everybody joining us here for continued coverage of the 2017 USBC Senior Masters here in Las Vegas. We're at Samstown Bowling Center, parked behind lanes 19 and 20, 21 and 22. And this is A squad heading lanes here on this final day of qualifying. We are on the burn, and what that means is the second squad to bowl on this 41-foot oil pattern. The lanes were oiled before the first squad of the day, which started at 8 a.m. local time. It's now noon. And the lanes only oiled one time per day. And that is considered the fresh squad. Second squad on the lanes gets the burn, and the final squad of the day gets the double burn. So that means a lot of traffic will have hit the lanes by that point. And each of the three squads, A, B, and C, having a chance this week to bowl on each of those variations. So completely fair through the 15 games, after which we will cut the field down from 277 competitors to the top 63 plus defending champion Pete Weber for the double elimination match play bracket here at the Senior Masters. And that's really where this tournament begins, as whether you're number 1 or number 64 through qualifying, getting there is the important part. And then it's a matter of performing on a particular pair of lanes against one opponent. So no matter what's happening around you, how high or how low the scores are, all that matters is what you and your opponent are doing on that pair of lanes. Our opening round of the bracket will be a traditional 1 versus 64, 2 versus 63, 3 versus 62, and so on. But you could ask most of the players, and not really a huge advantage at that point, because you're probably looking at 64 pretty good players and a lot of familiar names. And of course, we know anybody can beat anybody else on any given day, but the caliber of players we have here, whether you're 1 or 64 or somewhere in between, probably pretty irrelevant. Good for confidence to get there and be a higher seed, but also maybe a little extra pressure knowing that you're the higher seed, and statistically, in theory, you're supposed to win. But the main goal is just to get there. And for some players, if they know they're comfortably in the number, maybe try something a little bit different just to get an idea. Once we get to match play, the lanes again will be freshly oiled. So some players maybe excelled on the fresh, some on the burn, some on the double burn. But they need to use that opportunity to figure something out. When they get back to the fresh, there's a block for Norm Duke. Did not let go of the ball, so not a foul. He's going to step back and reset. Pretty star-studded featured pair here to open things up here on A squad. Norm Duke, Hugh Miller, and Mike Scroggins. They're joined by Joe Beck. And our other pair stepping up right now, Joe Salvemini. Familiar name there from the West Coast. Definitely a talented left-hander. Nice break there for Joe. Going Brooklyn, tripping the 4-pin forward. Also got Mike Phillips, Barry Zimmerman on this pair of lanes. So only 3 players on 21 and 22. There's a nice break for Hugh Miller. Caving in the 6-8. I do appreciate everybody being here. If you'd like to follow along with the live scoring, just visit bowl.com/Senior Masters. And we've also got the scores up there round by round. tournament leader. It's going to take some work to catch him today. Parker Bone III. What a day. Came in this morning, received an award for being the high block of the day yesterday. Shot 1252. And came in today and absolutely mashed him. 289, 269, 239, 300, and 211. Got to 1308. Needed 250 his last game to match the 5-game Senior Masters scoring record. Did not get there, obviously. Said the pair he was on, 17 and 18, just a little bit tighter than the ones previously. And there was one shot on lane 18 where he lost it off his hand. Left a 379. And then next time on that lane, just got a bad read, left another 379. But was able to right the ship through the last 5 for 211, breaking his own 15-game Senior Masters scoring record. Finished with 37-17. Last year here at Samstown, he had 37-12, so 5 pins better. But again, whether he's number 1 or number 64, Parker Bone experienced enough to know that everybody is equal. Once that bracket gets going, the bracket board has no idea what number is next to your name, nor do the pins or the pair of lanes that you're on. So it's just a matter of making the right decisions and doing what you can to outscore your opponent in that 3-game match. So whether you shoot 5-10 or 8-10, as long as you're 1 pin better than the other guy, that is all that matters in this format. So each day, the competitors bowling 5 games and then 15-game pinfall totals determine who advances to that bracket, where Pete Weber is guaranteed a spot. So no matter what happens in qualifying, he would come in at number 64, but he has the opportunity to improve his seeding by bowling the 15 games. He finished yesterday in the top 5 with 5 games to go. So likely Pete Weber will be higher than number 64. And now we're just trying to figure out who the 63 players are who will join him. Feel pretty good about Parker Bone's chances. He's at plus 717 leading the way. Next bowler on C squad, 15 games in the books already. Brian LeClaire had a bit of a tough day, 996 after bowling very, very well the first 2 days. But again, LeClaire safe for match play at plus 430. Johnny DiBenedetta of Las Vegas, the pro shop operator at South Point, is at plus 386. Doug Becker, the left-hander from Florida, at plus 382. Your top A squad performer right now on the lanes, John Doherty III from Fort Walton Beach, Florida. He's at plus 358 coming into today. That included one of the 5 300 games this week to close out the round on day 1 on the fresh. He had 1148 yesterday on the double burn. And now seeing if he can keep that momentum going here on day 3. He is followed on this squad by Eddie Graham, who started the event. Started the event with 297. All right, just a little woody back and forth with our good friend Jim Callahan from Team Storm over here watching some players and ones we'll likely see in match play coming up starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. local time, noon Eastern. But back to our standings, bowling well on A squad. Eddie Graham started the week off with a 297. He's at plus 289 coming into day number 3. Tony Rodriguez plus 253. Walter Ray Williams Jr., the 2014 Senior Masters champ, at plus 241. Chris Warren, 239. Joe Salvemini, plus 239. Ryan Schaefer, plus 221. So see, scores are pretty good overall in this 41-foot oil pattern this week. 5 300s and countless other front 9s and front 10s. The cut line right now, Mark Scroggins, twin brother of Mike Scroggins on our featured pair here. Mark at plus 117 in 64th position. He's on B squad, so we'll see him later today. Perhaps his equally left-handed brother can give him an idea of what's what out there, so they both can find their way into the bracket. Mike Scroggins at plus 169 coming into today and working on the front 5 here on our featured pair. Barry Zimmerman bowling very well, working on a 4-bagger. Take a look at our live scoring. See what's happening across the house here using lanes 5 to 52 this week for the Senior Masters. Scroggins can't get the 7 to go here, so his run ends at 5. All right, if you're just joining us, this is our opening game here for A squad. Final day of qualifying at the 2017 USBC Senior Masters. This is Matt Cannizzaro and all of my closest friends, age 50 and older, doing work here at Samstown Bowling Center. A lot of familiar names from across the generations, and Joe Salvemini rolls the 7 on lane 21. So we'll get into our final frame here on our right-hand pair. They only have 3 bowlers. Mike Phillips will be the first one up. You can get to 197 with 3 in the 10th. No doubles this game and a split in the 5th. And now his max score 186. Zimmerman with a chance at 270 here in the opening game. Zimmerman looking for 2 in the 10th there. Again, 270 max score. And a great shot there for the right-hander. Nice little surge here to start off the day. Mike Scroggins up on lane 19. 6 out of 7. With just a lazy 7-pin in the 6th. Gets the 3-pin to roll forward. Mike's got a little bit of work to do today, so this is a great start for him. Zimmerman finishes things off for 270. Phillips 186, and here's Selvemini. Final shot can get to 235 with one more here in the 10th, then leaves a 7, so 234. Duke denied 4 consecutive strikes. All right, 10th frame underway here on 19 and 20. Hugh Miller. Clean through 9. Started with a 4-bagger. Shaking his head, but one more puts him in the 250s. Joe Beck can get to 187. So Hugh, the 2.478. Good place for that. Super tough spare. Still get to 247. Coming again to today at plus 154. 46th place, so in good position. I wouldn't say comfortable. This extra 46 pins certainly will help. It's 175 for Joe Beck, 246 Hugh Miller. Now, Scroggs and Norm Duke. I believe this is a rematch of sorts from the 2005 USBC Masters. back at the 2005 USBC Masters in Milwaukee. Mike Scroggins got a 245-238 win over Norm Duke at the US Cellular Arena. So the Arena Finals. What a day for Scroggins. And a $100,000 victory for Scroggs. So how about that? Now here we are, both players, USBC Masters champs, looking to add their names to the short list of bowlers to have won both the Masters and the Senior Masters. Among that group, Walter Ray Williams Jr., who's in the hunt this week. Parker Bone looking to join that club as well. He's going to do it. Norm Duke, 192. Mike Scroggins, 245 to finish things up. We'll have game number 2 coming up in just a minute and updated scores not long after that, folks. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching continued coverage of the 2017 USBC Senior Masters here at Sam's Town in Las Vegas. This is Matt Cannizzaro. And then tomorrow, the whole B team in the house. Aaron Smith will be here as well as we get ready for match play starting at noon Eastern. Players now on the move. We'll have game 2 in just one moment. And we're back in business here at Samstown. Bowlers quickly to their next pairs. Up on 20 right now, John Austin Jr. 21-2. We've got Sam Ventura, Larry Burkett, Paul Lamond, and Mr. Konasek. There he is, trying to hide from us. Chris Warren, Chris Keene, and James Wallace joining us on 19 and 20. All right, here we are getting towards the halfway point of game number 2. We'll take a look at the scores here in just a moment. All right, looking at the scores now, we've got C squad after 15, A squad after 11, and B squad after 10. Again, Parker Bone III, the Hall of Famer, is the man to beat. He is at plus 717 for his 15 games. That is a 15-game scoring record here at the Senior Masters, besting his own record of plus 712, which happened last year here at Samstown. But A squad leader, John Doherty, continuing to make things happen, plus 395. Started the day off with 237. Next A squatter, down in 9th place, Eddie Graham at plus 280. Joe Salvemini, we saw him on our featured pair, game number 1, plus 273. Walter Ray Williams Jr. plus 268. Ryan Schaefer plus 250. Tony Rodriguez plus 241. And that number 64 number right now is at plus 125. John Burkett, former Major League Baseball pitcher. Started with 203. He is the number. Still a long way to go. Not even halfway done for the day. As we've got B squad coming up next on the double burn. And we've had some great scores on every squad, really. Parker Bowman III crushed them this morning. I believe that's an understatement. He shot 13.08 on the fresh earlier today, on the way to his 15-game record of 37-17 plus 717. It's not impossible for him to be caught, but it's going to be some pretty serious striking for someone to get there. Final couple frames coming up here of game number 2. Parker Bone, the man they're trying to track down. But really the ultimate goal is to make the top 64. That's it. Because at that point, pinfall irrelevant. This is not the US Open where pinfall carries over through qualifying. All right, 10th frame underway on 21 and 22. Larry Burkett. First one up can get to 208 after the open in the 8th. And Niall Konasek can get to 189. Just delivered his first double of this game. Our A squad leader, John Doherty III, is a pair to our left. He can get to the 220s this game. All right, 207 for Larry. Nice finish. Had 2 opens in the first 3 frames, but battled back. So Keene finishes with 199 here in game 2. John Austin Jr. 226. Now Chris Warren trying to make some things happen, but can't get the 2 to go. It looks perplexed, but making spares here in game 2. Chris should have no problem making the top 64. Still can get to 197 here. And Wallace up in the 10th, can't get to 223. Lamont opening the 10th, 180. And Ventura with the double can get to 218. Wallace and Warren going to wrap things up here on 19 and 20. Wallace max score 212. Warren can get to 197, and Ventura gets everybody down for 218. We'll be right back with game number 3 coming up in just a minute. Continued coverage of the 2017 USBC Senior Masters here at Sam's Town in Las Vegas. We'll be right back, folks. This is Matt Cannizzaro.
25 of them in the finals.
25 a game better.
We got 20 of them in the finals.
Seriously. 25, bro. It might be more. It might be more. Parker had more over in 4 games than any righties had in 5. How's that? I'm not saying it's bad. You're not. I'm just giving you information that there's no defined spot on the right at all. None.
All right, time for game number 3 here in our featured pairs at Samstown Bowling Center. 2017 USBC Senior Masters rolls on, and let's meet our players. They're only 21. It was Glenn Nakagawa and Joe Goldstein. Also got former Major League Baseball pitcher John Burkett and David Scardeville. And to our left, Marvin Nesvensky, Bruce Lamb, Ron Winger, and Mr. Dudley. So a couple familiar names and a couple of not yet knowns Definitely not unknowns. John Burkett from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so got a chance to know him personally. Actually bowling in league a couple of years ago, right by the house there in Fort Worth. Once he hit 50 years old, Burkett taking this sport very seriously after retirement from baseball. Definitely works hard at it. See on the back of Burkett's pants, actually, there's a embroidered baseball. So his #1 sport, never too far behind. Had a great major league career with the Rangers, the Giants, a couple other teams, I'm sure. And now trying to make things happen here on the PBA 50 tour. If you are curious about the overall scores, you can visit bowl.com/Senior Masters. Nice spare there for Joe Goldstein. No style points here, sir. Bowl.com/Senior Masters has complete results from round 1 and round 2, and now results game by game for round 3. Combined PDF, so you can see how everybody stacks up. Walter A. Williams Jr. on this squad, bowling well. We'll have the updated standings through 12 here shortly. For A squad. C squad already done, 15 games in the books. And B squad coming up at 4 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. on the East Coast. But Parker Bowden III is the man to beat, plus 717, 15-game record. 37-17 shot. Huge on the fresh this morning, including a perfect game. All right, here we are. Scores through 12 for A squad. Again, Parker Bone plus 717 is the man to beat. A squad leader, John Doherty. Couple 230 games is at plus 425. So in order to catch Parker Bone, John Doherty's going to have to average nearly 300 his last 3 games. He's at plus 425. He needs to be almost 300 over for his last 3 games to catch Parker Bone. So I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I'll just go out on a limb and say that Parker Bone's probably going to be the leader after this squad as well. John Doherty is your A squad leader at plus 425, followed by Walter Ray Williams Jr. at plus 287, Eddie Graham 277, Ryan Schaefer 276, Andy Nyer 273, Joe Salvemini 265, Mike Scroggins 245, 245. He's at plus 259 today. So John Doherty would have to average 297 the rest of the day to catch Parker Bone. But either way, both of them are going to be headed to the match play bracket. And today's pinfall will not matter. They'll be even. Likely not bowling each other early on. And that is the goal. Just get to the top 64 and then battle your opponent each round. getting close to halfway point here. Game number 3. Having a little fun with John Burkett. John just outside the cut number here with 3 games to go. 66th right now. Games of 203 and 192 so far today. So -5 on the day. Trying to put something together here on our featured pair. Great shot for the double. And John Doherty III, A squad leader, actually is a pair to our left now. So he was not there last game. He was there, but it was another bowler with the same initials. Right now he's going on Dutch 200 pace through 5. So back half of game number 3 as the fight continues to make the top 64. Ron Winger at plus 83. Trying to make something happen here late on day number 3. John Dudley minus 180. Nizvensky minus 307. Bruce Lamb minus 188. Goldstein had a nice run last year at the Senior Masters, but minus 72 here in 2017. David Scarterville plus 91, so he's close, 79th place with 3 games to go. Great shot there by Burkett. Gonna need a bunch more of those though. All right, so 300 to watch on game number 3 here. And Mike Canada down on 7 and 8. Has the front 7. Not a whole lot of excitement here in our featured pairs this game. Seems like scores are kind of up and down. Here as we hit the halfway point of A squad qualifying on this final day. Some strings of strikes around us. A squad leader, John Doherty III. Missed a single pin in the 9th frame, but he still can get to 207 here. Really not in danger of falling out of the top 64 with 2 games left now after this. We have had 5 perfect games at this year's Senior Masters so far. Raymond Scrivens Jr., first one to get there. Day 1 of qualifying, John Doherty III. Got there the 5th game of the opening squad, followed by Billy Langford, Mika Koivuniemi, and Parker Bone III. Parker got his done on the way to a 13:08 block on the fresh this morning, and Michael Canada's run ends at 7. Now we'll get ready for the 10th frame here on 21 and 22. John Burkett trying to fight his way into the top 64, just outside after 2 games on this squad. In 66th place. Working on a double here, can get to 226. Got a couple split pickups here. And the mixer can't get the 7 out, but definitely like that shot. Dave Scarterville can get to 165 here, but again, a few players on these featured pairs with a chance to make a run. Ron Winger can do some work. He can get there. Burkett can make his way in. So here's Burkett, can get to 205. Make him about even on the day. Now 10th frame underway on 19 and 20. John Dudley first up. Bruce Lamb can get to 166. Sorry, 176. Dudley 184. Nezvinsky 205. And Ron Winger can get to 184. Dudley 173. Burkett 205. Scarterville 155. Nakagawa get to 171. Joe Goldstein 201 possibility here. All right, game 3 coming to a close here. Final shot for Ron Winger. He can get to 184. Just got a visit from Tish Johnson. She came to say hi and see what was going on this morning with the live stream. And I gave it a bowling comparison. And say, hypothetically, you're coming to the event. You got all your equipment ready to go. And you have interchangeable thumbs of some sort. And either they're broken or you left them in the hotel room. So you have the equipment, it just doesn't want to work properly. So hard to do that. So you got to either figure out a plan B, or scotch tape some things together, or go drill a new thumb or something. And then there you go. So we got things working. Now we're getting ready for game 4 of A Squad's final qualifying round here at the 2017 USBC Senior Masters. Next game coming up in just one moment. Looks like Walter Ray headed our way here for this next game. We'll be right back. And here we are, game number 4 for A squad. This is the burn today. Lanes oiled once per day, 41-foot oil pattern here at the Senior Masters this year. So we're getting close to 10 games of traffic on the pattern so far. Here in our featured pair right now, Gary Ray and Joe Lacerdo, Dennis Samsell and Don Lane. Also joining us, David White, and a familiar name, Walter Ray Williams Jr., the 2014 Senior Masters champ. One of the few to win the Masters and the Senior Masters. Got Masters victories in 2004 and 2010. Also, we've got Robert Reed and James Hutchinson. Again, you're watching game 4 of 5 here for A squad. Walter Ray with his first strike here on Bowl TV today. All right, updated standings. Once again, Parker Bone III is the man to beat. He tops the standings overall at plus 717. And A squad leader, John Doherty, at plus 432. So nobody will be catching Parker here on the A squad. Next in the A squad standings, Andy Nyer. Pulled 751 his first three today, plus 318. Eddie Graham hanging on, plus 288. Mike Scroggins, plus 286, 717 start for him. Walter Ray Williams Jr. at plus 39 today, plus 280 overall. He's 12th in the standings right now. Ryan Schaefer, plus 253. Joe Salvemini, plus 240. So that's the first page. Top 17. But that important number right now, the cut line, is up to plus 129. John Burkett, who we saw one game ago, is at plus 122 in 65th place. So he's close. Barry Zimmerman is close at plus 120. 70 bowlers will cash this week. Hall of Famer Brian Voss is close at plus 113. So a lot of possibilities out there with 2 games to go here on A squad. That, of course, B squad will come up on the double burn this afternoon at 7 p.m. Eastern for 5 final games before we make the cut down from 277 to just 64 bowlers for the double elimination match play bracket. So in order to catch Parker Bone III, B squad leader Amleto Monticelli will need to average more than 268 for today's 5 games. Definitely not impossible, but that is a tall, tall task. Amleto at plus 374. Again, Parker Bone at plus 717. Defending champ Pete Weber not far behind him, Leto, at plus 367. And then a bit of a drop off there. Bob Learn at plus 294. So Bob Learn would have to average 284 to catch Parker. Down on 5 and 6, Mark McCreary. One shot away from 290. All right, he finishes that off. See where he is in the standings. '88th place at plus 77, so another 90 pins there, plus 167, and he flies into the top 64 with one game to go now. We got one more game coming up after this, and we'll take a short break. We get ready for our final squad of the day and the final squad of qualifying. All right, 19 and 20. Plugging along here. Getting ready for the 9th frame here in just a moment. 21 and 22. A few frames behind, a few less strikes on the board. Match play begins tomorrow at noon Eastern. If you'd like to see the complete schedule for this year's Senior Masters, you can visit bowl.com/Senior Masters, and it'll tell you when each round is scheduled to begin here at Samstown Bowling Center. Matches throughout the day, tomorrow and Saturday. After Saturday concludes, we'll know our top 5, or our 5 remaining seeds for the stepladder finals, and that will happen live on Bowl TV Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. local time if you're nearby and would like to come out and join us. And up until the stepladder, it is 3-game matches. Total pinfall determines who advances in the double elimination match play bracket. We'll have the bracket available online as well once qualifying concludes. Place our 64 players into the bracket. All right, 10th frame underway on 19 and 20, game number 4. And game 14 overall coming to a close here for these gentlemen. Gary Ray can get to 171. Joseph Lacerdo, working on a double, can get to 229. Ray can't get the messenger to go, so he'll be in the 160s this game. A great shot by Lacerdo. Will be in the 220s this game. David White will get to 213. Walter Ray Williams Jr. 217. $228 for Joe. White can get to 202. Not quite ready for the 10th frame. 21 to 22. Walter Ray slaps out the 10. Started this game with an open. Now can get to 217. He's not in any danger with one game to go after this. He's at plus 280. So get to just under 300 over with this performance. Our other pair now in the 10th frame. Robert Reed gets the first hit, can get to 176. Hutchinson still a shot at 180. Lane can get to 189. Samsel, 215. All right, Walter Ray is going to wrap it up, 215. Gets to plus 295. So right hand pairs just getting done. Left hand pair already set to start. Howard Snyder Dave Sims from Storm Products. So as the players finish up, make the move, but we'll get ready for game number 5 here in just one moment. We appreciate everybody tuning in. This is Matt Cannizzaro. You're watching live coverage of the 2017 USBC Senior Masters. Parker Bone III, the man to beat at plus 717. However, nobody on this squad will catch him. And for our final squad of the day to get him, it's going to take some serious shooting. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll have game number 5 for A squad coming up in just one moment. All right, final game of the day underway here in our featured pairs. Our final game of the day for these fine bowlers on A squad. James Stortz, Dave Sims, Howard Snyder, Doug Cloud, Vic Karbowski, Eddie Graham. All right, halfway point of our final game for A squad. Just one double on the board on 19 and 20. David Chu, spare 3-bagger on our other pair. As soon as standings are up, we'll give the quick rundown and see if any of these guys have a chance to advance or sneak in or something exciting here as we wrap up their 15th game. 5 games a day over 3 days, kind of laid back. Last week we had the Super Senior Classic where USBC members age 60 and older got a taste of the format used at the Professional Women's Bowling Association events. And our Super Seniors bowled 12 games of qualifying on Friday. Top quarter of the field came back Saturday for an additional 6 games. Then 18 game totals determined the 12 players who advanced to match play. We did 6 games of round robin match play, and then we cut the field from there. The match play, they were split into 2 groups. The winner of each group, based on total pinfall, automatically earned a spot in the stepladder finals. And then the 2, 3, 4 seeds on each side of the match play had a miniature group stepladder, and the winner of each of those also advanced to the TV show. So the 4-player stepladder finals won by Ron Moore, local standout, also trying to fight his way into the bracket here at the Senior Masters. If you missed any of that event and would like to check it out, you can see it in the Bowl TV archives. Standings up after 14 games for A squad, 15 games for C squad. Parker Boone III, plus 717 overall leader. He is followed by Brian LeClaire, also on C squad at plus 430. A squad leader, John Doherty III, at plus 421. Next on A squad, Andy Nyer down in 8th place, plus 347, followed by Eddie Graham here in our featured pair of this game, plus 346. Mike Scroggins, plus 331. Ryan Schaefer, plus 296. Walter Ray Williams Jr. at plus 295. Joe Salvemini at plus 280. These are all the A squad bowlers who are bowling right now. So nobody's going to catch Parker Boone III this game. High on A squad, John Doherty III, plus 421. Do a little control F action. See how the rest of these guys are doing. Howard Snyder is at plus 35. Looks like the cut number right now to the top 64. Is at plus 134, so climbing just a little bit. So Snyder probably a little too far out of it at this point, just based on how this game is going. Dave Sims at minus 44. Clean through 7 here, or 6 right now. 7 with a spare here. Gonna be short. James Stortz is at minus 238, so this will be his final game of the 2017 USBC Senior Masters, which are our other pair. David Hsu is at minus 238 as well. So I think it's going to end for him here. Vic Karbowski, minus 441. So no match play for Vic. Doug Cloud is minus 240. So Storts, Hsu, and Cloud all in a row in the standings. Already mentioned Eddie Graham up in the top 10. So we'll see him tomorrow in match play. All right, we're in the 10th frame here of our final game for A squad. Again, looks like Eddie Graham is going to be the lone bowler from our featured pairs. Heading into match play tomorrow. Howard Snyder's going to be the first one to close things out here. He can get to 220 this game. That'll put him about 50 over, I believe. All right, Dave Sims. Nice finish for the last 5. After the single pin miss, gets to 211. James Stortz got the first one to get the 155. All right, 155, 218, and 211. Here in our featured pair. Guys to our right. Couple frames left before we close things out for about an hour. And the final squad of the day hits the lanes at 4 p.m. local time, 7 p.m. Eastern. After that, we'll know our top 64, our top 63, who will join defending champion Pete Weber in the double elimination match play bracket. 10th frame underway here as Karbowski delivers the first hit in the 10th for the double, can get to 184. And David Chu, or as his shirt says, Chu, leaves the 7th pin on his first offering, can get to 248. And we'll have Graham and Cloud stepping up next to close things out here for A squad. So we appreciate everybody joining us. Again, we'll be back in just over an hour for B squad on the double burn, final qualifying block of the day. Started the week with 277 players. After today, we will whittle the field down to the top 63, plus defending champion Pete Weber for the exciting double elimination match play brackets. Kowalski finishes with 171. Final shot for David Chu. And he picks off the 10 pin. That was interesting. A way to get to 239. Not sure what happened there. Either way, Eddie Graham gonna close things out. We'll see him tomorrow. Yeah, looks like Chu just lost that one to the right. That's it. Final shot for him. Squasher for Doug Cloud. All right. 192 for Eddie Graham. And the final shot of this squad coming up here. Doug Cloud gonna close things out. Looks like everybody else just about done. Standings will be updated on bowl.com very shortly. See what the numbers are through 15 games for C squad and A squad. And then we'll have our final squad coming up in 1 hour here on Bowl TV. Folks, we appreciate everybody joining us. And defending champ Pete Weber will be on the next squad, among others. So check that out. If you have any questions, you know where to find us in the chat room and on the official USBC Facebook page, Sport of Bowling USBC, and on Twitter at USBC. We're going to take a quick hour break, catch up with some of the players, and we'll be back for the final squad again in 1 hour. So thanks for tuning in. That's the news for now, folks. We'll see you on the lanes.